Cross and circle is a board game design used for race games played throughout the world. Design. Strictly, the design comprises a circle divided into 4 equal portions by a cross inscribed inside it. The classic example of this design is Yut. However, the term cross and circle is typically taken to include boards that replace the circle with a square, and cruciform boards that collapse the circle onto the cross. All 3 types are topologically equivalent. Ludo and Parcheesi are frequently played cruciform games. The category may also be expanded to include circular or square boards without a cross which are nevertheless courted, and boards that have more than 4 spokes. The Aztec game board for Patoli, which, because it consists of a collapsed circle without an interior cross, has the distinction of being a cross that is a circle, without being a cross plus circle. Tokens are moved around spaces drawn on the circle and on the cross, with the goal of being the first player to move all tokens all the way around the board. Generally, the circle of the cross and circle forms the primary circuit, followed by the player's pieces. The function of the cross is more variable. For example, in Yut the cross forms shortcuts to the finish, whereas in Parcheesi the 4 spokes are used as player-specific exits and entrances to the piece's home. In non-race games, all paths may be undifferentiated in function. History. Although these board game designs may be of considerable antiquity, firm evidence is sparse. The most ancient board games were dated back to BC 3500 in the time of ruler King Bharata of ancient India and are corroborated in details in University of California, Davis and extensive research by Bori, Pune. Noted writer and historian Giles Schaufelberger and Aaron Rester notes most of the board and dice games back to ancient India. For cruciform boards, the monumental Parcheesi or Showpat boards of the Moghul rule of Akbar, designed to accommodate humans as playing pieces, still represent the earliest secure evidence for the existence of the game in India. Cullen found evidence for a Nai-out-like game existing in China in the 3rd century AD, though this does not seem to be accepted by H.J.R. Murray. Mayan cross and circle boards have been found on stones from the 7th century AD. Although frequently encountered among the native tribes of North America, these boards were not made of durable materials, so generally the writings and collections of European Americans constitute their earliest attestations. Esoteric Connections. Cross and circle boards may suggest a variety of mystical, symbolic, or esoteric designs such as mandalas, sun and earth symbols, swastikas, or Celtic, Coptic, and Greek crosses. However, mere visual similarities do not prove a deeper connection, and demonstrating any historical connection has proven to be a slippery matter. Many modern discussions of the religious, magical, or divinatory genesis of board games stem from the work of Stuart Cullen, who postulated a single source, the classification of all things according to the 4 directions by means of divinatory arrows, and that survivals of these magical processes constitute our present games. He quotes, for example, an account of the Zuni war gods, which explicitly links divination, the 4 quarters of the earth, and games. Nai-out and Native American games like Zon AHL are integral to his argument. However, later scholars have called into question our ability to assign historical precedence among randomizing activities such as divination, impartial decision-making, gambling, and game-playing, and elements of his monolithic genealogy of games have been called absurd. Nevertheless, if origins confound us, some historical connections are in evidence. In the 19th century, Yut stick dice were used for divination, their results being looked up in a book not unlike the I Ching.